evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final race of ILRL 4th Division, where it is unfortunately me on my own. Yeah, unfortunately me on my own today. It is the championship decider in the final race around Brazil, which is going to be hopefully a good race. It's raining for qualifying, as we can see, and via information that I have had from some drivers, we get a dry start to the race and rain at the end of it, so could be a good race. I'm going to preemptively say sorry for any lag that happens. This is a late minute stream for me on internet that's not great, so we're just having to make do. Let's just quickly go through this. So we have a 17-point gap for the lead, where Titan Prime is on leading by 17 points over Mr. TJ, with Gamer only a further 3 points behind them. So if Titan Prime can come 5th or better today, then he wins the championship. But obviously TJ and Gamer will be doing what they can to stop him from winning. Alright, so let's go on board with Tay's top 6 as he's about to start a lap. Tricky track for the rain, but nevertheless he's going to be going down into turn 1. Has to brake a little bit earlier, wants to hit that apex. Ooh. Close to it, but not quite what he wants. It's going to take him a little bit to get into these conditions, so we'll probably see them do a couple of laps at least on each set of tyre. As you come into this tricky turn, are normally quite fast, however relatively slow in the rain. Now the tricky uphill turns, where you will not see a single move tonight unless people are extremely brave, as he seems to get them relatively clean, relatively nicely done. Probably could be going a little bit quicker, but as long as he's setting clean laps, we could see him getting a good starting position in the race. Oh, this is going to be a tough one to do on my own. And he's now going to be coming up the hill through the final corner, which isn't really much of a corner because it's completely flat even in the rain. As he's now going to come across the line to set a 18.4. No idea how good that is in the rain. As Barry's retired, let's just quickly check if that was terminal damage. What am I doing there? Instances. That was terminal damage, so that's him already out of qualifying, guaranteeing he starts last, as TJ sets a faster lap of a 17.8. Dear. I should have got a drink before this, but we were not prepared. Interestingly enough, a few people deciding not to come out yet, even though these conditions probably will only get slightly better for this qualifying session. Yeah, right. Let's follow Craig for his lap. He's already started the car with laps. Dark Wolves from set of laps, so did Andrew. Dark Wolves barely slower than TJ at this point. Andrew setting a what was a relatively slow lap. I believe as well that Andrew BF1 here will be fighting a few people. Let's just double check those points for fourth place in the championship, as he is on 65 points, tied in fact with Andrew. So they're going to be having a hard-fought battle today, with only DTM on 63, so only a couple behind them, and still Atlantis on 52 just behind him. So you could see those four battling it out, trying to all score points to take fourth in this. So a lot of positions being fought for as TJ. Oh wait, yeah, TJ's out. That must have been his car. We've just seen Craig come by there as Craig sets an 18.2. I bet Craig shut his pants a little bit. Alright, I'm going to do my best now to get the Twitch chat open. on my own thing. Let's quickly have a attempt at this. Right, who else is on a lap? I think Denzel's coming around to finish a lap as we speak. As he does that, I'm going to try and get the Twitch chat open, so if anyone wants to put anything in there, wants to have it open. I must be mistaken, I think Denzel's actually coming to start a lap, so let's follow him for a lap. While you're following him, I will get the chat open. Okay, I now have the chat open, so if there's anything anyone at all wants to put in the chat, I can now reply. Right. PS4 finally coming out as well. I think he's not long started the lap. Let's finish watching Denzel's lap real quick, as I need totally flustered right now. Should have got all of this stuff open. Let's do, we don't need ties, centers no matter what. As time prime they go, our championship leader comes across to set the fastest lap. TJ in a bad spot, having crashed out, is now on a 5th, so at best starting 5th. This is not what he needs to be, not where he needs to be winning this. Let's quickly jump aboard with BF1 as he's coming through the final sector as we speak. Is he going to set a quick lap as he's shown in the last few races? He has the pace to compete with these guys. Puts himself into 4th, just, well, about 2 tenths behind his teammate. It's close for the top 4 at the moment, with only just under 4 attempts splitting them. Right. Looks like the BF1's going for another lap, so let's follow him for this full lap. Why not? See if he can show us a masterclass in how to do a quick lap as he gets a bit of a slide trying to be flat out through there. Using the higher gears to try and get some traction, still having his back end step out all over the place. Now, oh, time prime goes quicker actually. He opens that gap by a lot. I think it's going to be getting a little bit drier out there, hence why his times are getting quicker, or he's just getting more confident. Oh, BF1 looking like he's struggling with the back end at the touch, not having the most ideal lap so far. As we see him come up the hill, we can see sun glaring through the clouds as we're on board with him. As he's going to come across the start-finish line any second now to improve up into 3rd place, but still 6 tenths off of Prime's time. But the thing that all these drivers will be thinking of is, as it's a dry start to the race, and towards the end of the race is when it starts to rain, have they gone for a wet setup for qualifying and the end of the race, or have they gone for a dry one to try and make the most of that dry section of the race? Right, Phoenix still hasn't come out yet, so that's interesting from him. As I believe Dartwoods is about to finish another lap. So what's he going to do on this one? He improves up to 6th place. Oh. So it's relatively close throughout the field, 2nd to 8th or even 9th, I guess, if you want to include TJ in that, who is now out. However, Prime really setting the pace, saying to people, I'm going to take this championship, and putting a stamp on it. Oh, right. Who else does we look like is on our lap? Looks like Craig Senna is coming around to finish another lap. Never mind, he dives into the pits. A little interesting fact for you all from Craig Senna, as I was speaking to him earlier. He seemed confident he was going to win this race. Probably a joke, but we're going to hold him to that. And if he doesn't at least get on the podium, then he's going to look a bit stupid. As everyone's coming back into the pits, so we're going to get a moment here just to breathe. Hopefully the race is as hectic, but not quite as hectic as maybe some of the other races have, as I'm on my own and will not be able to take a breath through it. But let's come across the line. I think he did a slight improvement then, or was that him on an outlap? I'm not entirely sure. That might be him on an outlap, so we'll follow him for this lap. As he takes that first sector nicely, as you would expect from a Ferrari driver. No pressure, even though the cars are on equal performance. As he's coming through the tricky middle sector, looking like his car is solid at the moment, not really losing the back end too much considering the conditions. So this could be a good lap from him. Little bit of wheel spin coming out of that turn, so he's gonna have lost a tiny bit of time as he runs wide off the track. Never mind, I think I gave him the commentator's curse to make a mistake. I'm glad the stream looks good, Sarah. I fucking don't know how with my internet, but hey ho, maybe I've got the settings correct. Atlantis is, coming into the pits. Bailed out, he's going to come back into the pits. Fresh set of tyres. Maybe even lower his fuel and go out again as Titan Prime, Dark Wolves, Craig Senna and Taste Toxics have already, Craig Senna and Taste Toxics very close to each other at the moment. They're going to need a little bit more of a gap than that. It's interesting how close they are to each other, because if Craig makes a mistake, it could catch Toxics out, and that could cost the lap, or if Toxics is quicker, it could end up putting Craig under some pressure to move out of the way, as looks like Craig is trying to let him by. I'll try not. I've already jinxed it, Sarah. That's it. The jinx is over. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen now. So, right. Just trying to work out who's going to be the first to start a lap. I think it could have been Dark Wolves or Craig. I think it's Dark Wolves who started the lap first. Yep, that indeed was, so we'll follow him for the rest of his lap as he's coming through tricky uphill section. This track is just a very enjoyable track to spectate a lot of the time. It gives you some good races, but as a driver as well, it's very, very satisfying when you get it correct. And it's actually relatively fast except for the middle sector, which you do have a lot of slow corners. Doubles into lift. I am primed. Did he just go faster? This is madness. He just keeps on improving. But Dark Horse is going to come across to try and contend with him. As he goes across the line. Had a slight improvement, I believe. Very, very slight improvement. Right. Let's go on board with BF1 Racer, who through those first couple of turns looked like he didn't quite back end. I think that's it. Yep, I think he's backed out of that one. So let's go down to let's go to Taste Toxics, who's gonna just have started another lap. Now, see, if I was these drivers, what I would do is I wouldn't necessarily do this lap. I would turn my fuel down, turn my ERS down, go around the track and go for another lap after this, because you only get 2 laps out of your ERS, so it'd be more worth saving it and smashing it out in the next one rather than pushing it out, because that'll be your last lap. But Taste Toxic's decided, no, there you go, he's gone down into 0. I think he's messed that lap up, so he will save ERS and some fuel for another lap. Looks like Craig is still pushing though. As it's gone started a little bit wide into that corner, still gets it turned in, but I think he can still definitely go quicker through there. As I believe BF1 has just improved to a 16.5, still 4/10 of the time prime though. But he has gone just under 3 temps quicker than Gamer as well, so that's a good position for him to be in. As Craig comes across the line. So you think that might have been a little bit slower? Maybe not, maybe might have been a slight improvement, but not enough to gain him any positions. And now he has small amounts of ERS. But with 1 minute to go, this will be everyone's last laps unless they're about to come across the finish line. But either way, they'll either be just starting or be on their last laps, more than likely. There we go. We're going to watch time prime. We're going to watch the pole position sitter currently on his final lap of qualifying. See if he can improve once more. As he's in overtake mode in his ERS, nearly hitting 200 miles an hour as he brakes into this corner. He seems to have this car under very good control. Looks like he is in his prime right now. See what I did there? That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. He's coming through this long left-hander, which looks like it could be a lot quicker, but it just gets tighter and tighter, so it's really tricky corner to get right, as he's gone really deep into that turn, and now he's really wide. I think that's it. I think his lap is done, so we'll jump on board with the next closest guy, BF1, who is going to be hoping to improve and maybe take that podium, or the pole position off of Prime. As he goes through the uphill tricky section, seems to get it just right. Looks like he's still struggling a little bit with the back end, so he's having to be a little bit more cautious. But he's getting the car turned in. That's the important thing here. As he's that's it. I'd say he's having issues with the back end, and he completely loses this. That's him done. As Gamer goes into second on a 16.3, that's a good lap from him. He needs to be as close to Prime as he can be to challenge him for position, whereas TJ is down in 10th. TJ will be hoping to have been higher than that, but he's not, as Andrew's going to come across the line, puts himself into fourth, right behind the guy he's battling on points. Oh. I'm going to take a breath for a minute so that I can do your qualifying rundown. Right, here we go. Let's go down to the bottom of the list. So, starting in 14th place, you have Dark Phoenix, just behind Barry, both not setting times in the session. Then 12th, the slowest of the times is Toxics to Denzel. Then top 10, you have TJ, who was out early in qualifying. Killian, Craig, Atlantis, Dark Wolves, Andrew and BF1, who are fighting for 4th place. Unity Gilbert. Then there's Gamer, and I'm really out of breath right now, but Titan on the pole position. Right, now we get a chill moment in the pit lane, where we will find out what kind of tyre strategies people are going for. This makes it an easy one stop. You'll probably see no difference between them. And I imagine you're going to see most people start on the... Oh, wait. Prime onto the supers, so he wants to be quicker at the start of this race. But as it looks, no one else is really changing their strategy up. Oh, never mind. As I say that, Andrew onto the supers. So he'll be looking to try and make a gap on BF1 at the start of this race. And as long as BF1's starting there, Unity Gilbert in third onto the medium tyres. So he's looking to go longer into this race, hoping for no damage at the start. No one. Oh, there we go. Barry 23 onto the mediums. Right. Looks like we're ready to go. A few other tyres to change. Let's just change this to tyres now. Get the clarification on who is on what. So, on the Super Soft, you have Titan Prime in first, Andrew in fifth, Dark Wolves in sixth. Starting on the mediums, Unity Gilbert in third, and Barry in 13th. And then everyone else is starting on the soft compound of tyre. Now, those on the Super Softs are going to really look to get a good start, and Titan's going to look to pull the gap. Everyone else behind on the Super Softs is going to look to make up positions and start pulling a gap to make their tyre choice count. We are already going through the middle sector. This track very short considering the type of track it is. Let's get all the telemetry and stuff up. Let's change that to interval. Let's get rid of that spectator menu. Alright. I have 4 viewers, so hello to all 4 viewers. As it dropped down to 2, so never mind. Welcome back, the 2 viewers I've had from the beginning of the stream. As people right at the end of the formation lap being disqualified. So that's going to hamper them a little bit. Their tyres will be a little bit colder at the start of this race. I would say their brakes, but the brakes get real cold while sitting on the grid anyway, so that doesn't really matter too much, but they are now lining up on the grid. We are nearly ready to get this race underway. We've already got a yellow flag apparently, but it's 5 red lights, and they are out, and there the drivers go. Looks like a great start from Prime, and BF1 actually making an amazing start as he's trying to go down in between the 2 Mercedes boys, but can't quite make a stick and ends up losing a position in fact. Oh my, there's madness already. Time Prime in those first couple of corners already putting 7 tenths. BF1 getting back past Andrew, so it's what he needs to be doing. While Andrew's on those super softs, he just needs to stick with them. Eunice Gilbert actually getting a great start on those mediums, staying in 3rd place. Dark Phoenix right on the back end of Atlantis, going down the inside. This is a horrible, horrible camera for the replay kind of cameras there. But Atlantis is now fighting with Prix, Senna a little bit there, but he's kept himself in 8th place. We're going to jump forward back to Andrew as he is on the rear end of BF1. He's got to look at getting past BF1 as quickly as possible and start getting past the other 2 drivers ahead of BF1 as well, if he stands any chance of making the Super Softs count. He's having a little bit of a look. Dark Wolves having a look at him, in fact, which is going to give BF1 a little bit of breathing room. This is not what Andrew needs. Andrew needs to keep going forward, but with Dark Wolves on the same tyre, he's having a fight with him. As Dark Wolves actually now past Andrew. It's a great move then. Andrew falling back to Phoenix's attack. Phoenix trying to go around the outside. It would be a brave manoeuvre. He thinks better of it. Tries the cut back, touches the grass, loses the back end, which is putting him a bit out of position. But Andrew really losing out at the start of this race. BF1's now going to have to look at this threat of Dark Wolves and the faster tyre behind. Barry into the pit, so he's picked up damage at the start of this race. That's going to hurt him, as the gap's already opening up a little bit. But Craig's in here and a little bit of a freeway battle here. Missed the TJ and Atlantis either end of his car. as prime system. Now, DRS enabled. This is where people will need to stay within in that 1 second gap, as Titan Prime already pulling what is essentially a 2 second gap on Gamer. It's on the faster tyre, which you would expect this gap to be forming, but if he keeps pulling the gap like this, he is going to be in a good position later on in this race. As Unity Gilbert only 8 tenths behind Gamer, but BF1 here catching the back end of him. I'm going to try doing it this way because this is just a lot easier right now. Looks like Denzel here is on the rear end of Killian. He really needs to look at making this move past. It's a tricky track to overtake Brazil. If you've got to get every corner precise to get the maneuver done, but if you can be close enough on this start finish straight and you can make a dive into turn 1, even if you're around the outside of turn 1, you then inside of turn 2, and turn 3 is essentially just power, so you can still stick it. He has lost a lot of time for that final sector. TJ here, he's going to have a look at Atlantis. Thinks better of it. Atlantis taking a dive on Craig. Oh, and there's been contact. And TJ's had to take avoiding action. Craig is not going to be happy with that, but Craig says thank you for those 2 positions. Atlantis does pick up a 5-second stop go for that collision. I believe that is a fair penalty for Killian now on the back end of TJ, after TJ taking avoiding action. Killian run wide though, and now you've got T10 Denzel having a look as he gets the move complete. Oh, now Killian also going to be under pressure from Taze Toxics as he goes down the inside. This going to have the outside for the next corner, which isn't ideal, so Killian gets to hold that place for now. Oh dear. It's been an interesting start to the race as Craig Senna actually coming back into this already, or after that spin he's looking to make some positions back. His teammate is the car ahead of him. He is faster, so if his teammate is clever, he'll move out of the way, but as it's the final race, I don't think we'll see any team orders coming into play at all this race, as actually up ahead, Killian and Denzel. Killian holding that position firmly as Denzel's having a little cheeky look. Can't quite make it move as Taste Toxics gets a penalty and is on the rear end. This could possibly, he's going to be blocked in by the Force India. This is going to be 3 wide, absolutely 3 wide. These cameras are terrible by the game, and the Renault of Denzel's had to run out wide, which is now allowed Taste Toxics past him. As Dark Phoenix picks up a 3-second penalty, trying to catch up to the guys ahead of him. It's absolute madness. I can't see who I'm spectating anymore thanks to the game, so let's just do it this way. Let's go on board here. Yeah, we're watching Craig at the moment as he gets past Denzel. His next target ahead of him again is his teammate. Really having to push those tyres to make up for that contact and half spin that he's had now. Still on for some points though, so it can't be. I was going to say much better. That's not the words I wanted to use. We'll rephrase that. Could be much worse, I suppose. As there we go, he's really on the back end of his teammate as they're going to go 2 wide down here. He's got the DRS. There should be a move done down the inside, but oh, this is brave stuff with the 2 of them going 2 wide there, but looks like Craig's had that move completed. And that was a very nice move. He just held it around the outside while Taze tried to defend down the inside, but Craig had the better line. BF1, I'm sorry I missed that, but Unity Gilbert is now behind him, so he's done a good job getting himself up into 3rd place, and now closing down Gamer. Within that DRS range, he is going to be putting Gamer under some real threat into turn 1. These cameras are terrible. I'm going to use these cameras because the game doesn't have any decent camera angles. Yeah, right, so Ben looking to get BF1. I've done it again. I'm just going to call him Ben. Sorry if that confuses people. He's got DRS on Gamer. As he's going to go round the outside. He's going to do the same thing that Craig did. He has a bit of line. He's going to push slightly wide. Oh, and it's been contact. Ben has kept it. And Gamer dropping down to third. He won't be tough into that as... Oh, Ben's off the track and Gamer is going to have to get back past him there. And while all of this is happening, it's letting Unity Gilbert keep on the back end of these guys, and he's going to be going longer into this race. But he has picked up another penalty. I believe that might be his second, as there's a little bit more madness going on back. This is really hard to keep up with when there's only one of you. Let's jump on board here with Andrew, who is chasing down Dark Horse at this point. Both on the super soft tyres. They haven't necessarily had the start they were hoping for with these tyres, but he's got some straight lines better than Dark Wolves, even though Dark Wolves has DRS as well. Down the inside, outside for turn 2. So think better of it. He can hold it quite, but now he's going to get DRS there again, which brings him close. As up ahead, Unity Gilbert, I'm going the wrong way for this. Unity Gilbert on the back end of these guys, with BF1 still trying to find a way past Gamer. Going to be a tough race between these guys the whole way, but while this is all happening, it's letting our championship leader Titan Prime walk away at the front on those faster set of tyres, which is exactly what he wants to happen. These three in an absolutely intense battle at the moment for what is currently second place, depending on penalties at the end. Looks like Gamer seems to be getting a better run out of that final sort of braking corner, or final corner that you brake for, as everyone's having a little bit of a look at Gamer again, as Unity Gilbert's having a little look at BF1. Not managed it. BF1 picks up a penalty, so that's going to hamper his positioning a little bit later on, possibly, as all of the DRS has been activated. With all the straight lines, BF1's having a look down the inside. The cutback by Gamer though. Now Unity Gilbert's going to have a look at BF1. As BF1 is now around the outside, has a slightly quicker car in a straight line by looks of things. As this is all happening, Andrew's managed to get past Dark Wolves in the background, but right now this is the battle for second, so we have to keep an eye on this. So, after all of that jousting between these two drivers, not a single position change has happened. Andrew, now that he's past Dark Wolves, is putting a bit of a gap on him, so he was the quicker driver and is catching this train, which is going to cause absolute madness as a four-way battle for second. Andrew has got the DRS, but it's going to be people like BF1 and Gilbert that we have to keep an eye on right now, as they are the closer ones. BF1 always going to have a look here down the inside on the exit of that beautiful, beautiful third turn, and he also has the DRS. This should be move complete, as Gamer has a little look back. BF1 covers it nicely. Now BF1 needs to look at opening this gap, otherwise he'll be under threat coming onto the start of the next lap, and that's not what he wants, as Gamer will need to defend from his teammate. I don't imagine team orders coming into play between these two, as Gilbert is on the harder tyres, so Gamer should be the quicker of the two. As Denzel picks himself up a 3-second penalty, as they're having a little battle there for 10th. Again, these guys are the battle for what is essentially, well, breaking into third now. Here we go, we're going to go on board here with Unity Gilbert, as he's having a look down the inside of Gamer. Can he have this move complete? These cameras are terrible by the game. Get better cameras for Brazil, please, for the love of God. But Unity Gilbert gets that move complete, and next up to try and get past Gamer will be Andrew, as he's still a little bit further behind, even though he's on the faster tyres, and maybe these tyres are starting to wear a little bit. The Gamer is going to be on the rear end of Gilbert again, and he's going to try and have a look back, but it looks like Gilbert on those mediums is starting to come into play in this race. He seems to be finding just a little bit more than these guys on the softs. As he's now reeling in BF1 again, which is also bringing Gamer along with him. So, although Gamer seems to be the slower of the three drivers right now, if he can just stick to the back end of his teammate, he could possibly have another look at BF1 in the next couple of laps. As missed it, Dark Horse came into the pits and has come back out in 9th place. Gone on to the soft set of tyres. I have no idea how long each tyre lasts on this track. It's been a while since I've done it. He could possibly be looking to go to the end, but I have a feeling there's another stop in that somewhere. As Andrew's into the pits, where's he going to come out? Looks like he's going to lose a place to Killian. It's going to be very, very close, I think. No, it's going to be close between him and Dark Horse, actually. As the side by side, Dark Horse is going to come out ahead, though. But Andrew on the medium set of tyres definitely looking to get to the end of this race on that set of tyre. Now, let's jump back on board here with Gamer as these three are still battling it out. Titan still yet to pit, interestingly going longer than the other super soft runners at the moment. Still continuing as well, so it's an impressive skid by him compared to the others as Denzel's into the pits on a set of super soft tyres as well by the looks of things. So he's definitely going to have another pit on his agenda. It looks like Gamer is now officially dropping back from these two, so it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a battle here between Gilbert and BF1 now, as Gamer just can't keep up with these two. Really struggling compared. But Gamer and TJ really close to each other on track, and let's just have another quick look at this. As I have my browser open on my phone, let's go back to the championship points. It's TJ who is 3 points ahead of Gamer, so this could change these two around for second and third if they continue, but Prime looking like he's definitely going to walk away with the championship now. Let's jump back here to find him on my list, Killian, who is slowly but surely closing in on Dark Horse. We will jump back to the other battle in a second. Let's just see if Killian can get any closer. In fact, looks like he's doing it slowly, but Dark Horse looking like he's confident, as actually ASM Andrew is closing in on the back of Killian after doing that pit stop. So he's really going for an hour. Of course, they have their little scrap as I look away. So, Gilbert gets a look and oh, rain. It's starting to rain already. So these drivers will be looking to stretch these tyres out until it becomes intermediate tyres by the looks of things. But I feel like Titan Prime is going to be the one to be struggling to do that. I am again going the wrong way. I miss having the trigger thing next to my names. Let's just do it this way. In fact, Titan Prime here looks like he's coming up to a back marker of some form. So he is, the guys at the back really not having a fantastic race. Let's jump back onto my Twitch chat. Yes sir, it is slight rain at the moment. Thank you for that clarification. I can see! No, I'm sorry. I'm being a bit of an asshole. But like I say, slight rain at the moment, which surprises me a little bit about Andrew's choice to go onto the mediums. I totally forgot myself that it was supposed to rain at the end of this race, trying to make strategy calls. If the rain stays like this, the strategy call for Andrew will be great. but we all know what rain is like. It doesn't like to stay. As actually, let's jump on board here because BF1 is back on the rear end of Gilbert. So he's looks like Gilbert's not quite having as much fun in these slightly damp conditions. And as this is all happening, wait, what did I just miss from BF1? I looked away for 2 seconds to look at the chat and I missed something from BF1. So I'm going to guess he had a bit of a moment there, which is unfortunate for him. So yep, there we go, he's coming into the pits. So this has put TJ on gamer actually. Look at this beautiful timing. He's having a little look around the outside. Actually, these guys are right up to the back of Gilbert again as Titan Prime's also in onto the medium tyres as well. So a couple of these guys not expecting the rain to get much heavier than this. It's an interesting strategy. As BF1, I'm not going to jump forward with him to look at where he comes out. I'm going to look at the spectator thing down the side. As it looks like he's going to come out in a place. So not horrendous, but it is now behind Andrew, who already made his pit stop. So he's pulled the undercut off, whereas Time Prime come out in fourth place. So in the perfect position to still walk away with this race. But these three drivers at the front looking to drag these tyres out as TJ is getting a little bit sideways there by the looks of things. These softs starting to wear out now. As Gilbert's now opening that lead a little bit more. Both Gamer and TJ into the pits. So this is Gilbert's chance to just drive his own race, put some quick laps in, start getting the gap opened up on these guys behind. As TJ Gamer comes in, puts the mediums on. I'm going to assume TJ's doing the same. Yep, he has done the same, although it doesn't show it in the game. If you look down the side, it does say mediums, and that's the one to go by. So again, these drivers not expecting much rain or to go to intermediates at any point in this race. So that's interesting, as Pine essentially back into first. Dark Horse, after making his pit, I'm getting lost in my spectator again. There we go, yep, so look, Titan there. 3.8 seconds ahead of Dark Horse, but I believe Dark Horse will have another pit stop to make, so he will fall further back. As Gamer after that pit stop also ahead of BF1, so BF1 having had a, after that little moment or whatever happened, is really falling back now and has a lot of ground to make back up. As he now has to repass TJ, Andrew and Gamer. So he will not be too happy about that, and in fact I have to say Craig even catching that gap up to him a little bit after he makes his pit stop onto the medium tyres. So looks like Craig had a good stint after that initial contact at the beginning of the race. Right, let's go on board here with Andrew, who looks like he's closing in on Gamer after making an earlier pit stop than him. So his tyres will be getting to that point that he would like Matt quicker than Gamer's at this point. So he should close this gap in a little bit at a time. We'll just follow these two for a minute as they are the closest on track. Actually, looks like Gamer's opening that gap a little bit more. So this race is getting a little bit quieter. Now this is where things get really awkward for me because I have nothing to talk about and I have no one to ask anything about either. In fact, it looks like TJ behind Andrew closed in a little bit more on this lap on his medium set of tyres. So TJ looking a little bit more confident on this set than Andrew is, and if he can still keep this gap just getting closer and closer for this lap, he will have DRS come across the start-finish straight which will keep them bringing him closer because it is still active, remember. In fact, he's really reeling him in. That first sector alone, he's closed in 3.5 attempts. Definitely looking a lot more confident. Go. He's really reeling in Andrew now, down to 4 attempts as we're going to come in through the final turns. He's going to have DRS, and in fact, even without DRS, he's already reeling him in, so he's looking a lot more confident. As soon as he opens his DRS, he should be passed with relative ease, as he's going to go around the outside. In fact, doesn't even have to think about going around the outside, because the move is already complete. So good job from TJ there. Andrew will try and stick with him, but TJ's next target is Gamer up ahead. Again, these two fighting for second in the championship as it stands, so TJ will want to close him down. Andrew doing a good job to stick with him at the moment, so he's using TJ to drag himself closer to Gamer as well, which could benefit him in the long run. But Andrew will start struggling a lot earlier in this race, as he's now on 5 lap older tyres than these guys. But I have to say, Unity Gilbert up ahead, doing in first place at the moment, doing 20 laps on his mediums already. So he is really getting some good laps. If he can go another sort of 4 or 5, he'll get to jump straight onto the super softs, which is what he'll be hoping to do, I would imagine. And here we go. Oh, look, TJ actually really reeling in Gamer. He looks like he's one of the fastest out there on the mediums at the moment, besides maybe Prime, but it's hard to tell when I'm not looking at him battle. This again, this camera is terrible, Cody's. Fix your cameras. He's having a little look at Gamer, but couldn't quite make the move stick. Now he's gonna just have to stick behind him for a little bit, but just stay close enough that you can use DRS to get past. And Darkwall's not too far up ahead of these guys, but again, I think Darkwall's has to pit. So this is essentially, in my eyes, the battle for 3rd place. Which actually would end up being 2nd, so after Unity hits, possibly. Looks like the rain isn't really getting any worse, so maybe these medium times are a good call by these drivers with only about 15, maybe 14.5 laps left to go, depending on where Gilbert is. But here you go, TJ with DRS is going to have a look around the outside, as he's still there. Gamer fighting hard. TJ's on the inside for turn 2. Up, bit of contact has sent TJ into a little bit of a slide, so he has all of that work to do again, which has now brought Andrew closer to him as well. TJ won't be too happy with that, but he knows he's the quicker of the two at the moment, so hopefully he can reel him back in again. And while these lot are battling on track, it's giving Gilbert that more opportunity to try and open that gap between him and them again, so he can be even closer as he pits, so he has the chance to go for the overtakes with the faster tyre. But it looks like after that slight spin, TJ's not quite as quick. Maybe he just needs to pull those tyres down a little bit, which the rain will help him with. There we go, he's back under a 2nd, which is what he needs to be doing. He won't get DRS down here, but if he can keep this close, he will get it down the next straight. There we go, opens the DRS. This will bring him closer, although he lost a couple attempts through for those first few turns, so it's not ideal, but it has brought him back within that 1 second, so he just needs to look at maybe reeling in Gamer just a little bit more, just to get that DRS down the start-finish straight where it's most powerful. As this is happening as well, it's forcing Gamer to be quicker, who is closing in on Dark Wolves. 6.5 tenths between him and Dark Wolves, and in fact TJ doesn't look like he's going to get DRS this lap, but Gamer will on Dark Wolves, so this will help Gamer out to keep this position just that little bit longer. There we go, so he opens DRS. This will bring him closer to Dark Wolves, but it won't bring him close enough to have a look for a move yet. If he can outbrake him here, even though it's not for a move, he can then be closer on this next DRS straight. Dark Wolves looking like he gets a better drive through those first couple of turns. As, oh yeah, there you go, Gilbert's in, and he looks like he's going to come out in 7th place. So he will have some overtaking to do, but he is on the faster set of tyres. Gamer still chasing down Dark Wolves. The dirty air is probably not helping him here, as he lost a little bit of time initially through the first sector. He's gaining it back a little bit at a time now. He just, again, needs to stay close. He's had to lift there, which is going to cost him a little bit, but he's staying close enough to get DRS again this lap, whereas TJ won't. I think he was just outside it. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, he's getting no DRS. Oh no, yeah, no, TJ will get DRS. So that lift by Gamer looks like he's brought TJ back into DRS range, but obviously TJ also having it. Now TJ's job will be to stay within this 1 second, so that as Gamer and Dark Wolves start having a little bit more of a battle, he can reel in them both. Although he's already doing that, looks like he's found his pace a little bit again. Maybe just needs to gain that confidence back after having that half spin from the contact. Dark Wolves here, looks like he's really holding up Gamer though, so Gamer will be hoping that Dark Wolves comes into the pits very shortly. Gamer having a little bit of a moment there, not quite getting the traction he wants. Both these drivers again will have DRS, so this is perfect for these two, whereas there you go, Dark Wolves is in, so this releases Gamer. So now Gamer really has to start picking up the pace, otherwise TJ will be there with him. Dark Wolves is on 5 second stop go, so that's going to affect him at the end of this race. So looks like he's going to be fighting for lower end of the points, but he goes, look, TJ with DRS, because Gamer has none, he's really reeling him in, but he isn't close enough to have a look just yet. All he wants to do now is stay close enough, not lose time through these corners, and then again get a good exit onto the DRS with the DRS on the start-finish straight. Save all of his ERS, even some of his fuel if he can, while sat behind here, and then Rich overtake with DRS will give him the move. Although Gamer makes a massive mistake, catches himself but puts himself in the way of TJ, and TJ again is not going to be happy with that. Gamer should have at least backed off here and let TJ back go past him, because he has cost TJ that position. But TJ's going to have DRS, so he'll close him in again. He's going to start getting frustrated with Gamer here, because that's twice he's tried to go past, and Gamer's had contact with him, so he's going to start getting very, very frustrated. Almost reminds me of one of my league races where I was fighting for a championship, but that's for another day. again, TJ just needs to stay close enough here as Gilbert here chasing down. Actually, yeah, Gilbert's already made a couple positions after that pit stop, I believe, and is up into 5th place, chasing down Andrew. So we'll jump to him in a minute if these guys don't get anywhere this lap, because he is closing down on Andrew. Yep, I'm going to jump back here to Gilbert because he looks like he's chasing down Andrew a lot quicker than TJ is going to get a moving gamer. Although I say this, it is the DRS straight, so we'll watch these two first and then I'll jump back to Gilbert after the initial corners. There we go, TJ going round the outside again. He should have this move complete before the turn. He does. Right, back to Unit and Gilbert here. We've got the DRS. He's going to have to really have a look here. He's going to maybe try the switchback. Oh, there he is. He's now the outside of here. Had to back out of that one. But he will get DRS down this straight. And on the quicker tyres, he should try and make use of it. Not getting the grip he wants, though. He had a little look at Andrew, reminding me he's there, but again, not close enough to make that move just yet. Now, he has to do what I've been saying TJ's had to do this the last few laps. He needs to stay close enough through the sector, keep that rear end in check, and then use the DRS down the start-finish straight. It's the best place to get the overtake if you can stay close enough. Andrew not looking confident. Looks like track's getting a little bit wetter as, ooh, the move there by Gilbert. With Andrew making a mistake. Gilbert looks like he lets Andrew back past, so maybe there was something there I missed. Not sure what it would have been, but that means this battle will continue. Gilbert will get DRS, but he's lost some time letting him back past, so it's going to be another lap sat behind him. Meanwhile, actually, Dark Wolves, yep, as I say it, there it is, gets past BF1. I'm really trying to keep track of this. We'll go back with Gilbert, as now got DRS on Andrew again. He'll probably have another little look. I'll be surprised if he makes a move, although he's going to do it around the outside. Oh, that's a point, that's a driver that's not here, as he just comes online on my thing. Katie Puzzle, it's a shame we missed you. Oh, you've not been able to say your gamer tag, but I've now had an opportunity to say it, and it will make Matthew proud. But yeah, a little bit of a tap there on Andrew's rear end as Andrew's now run off the track, which is now giving Gilbert the move. BF1 picks up another penalty. That one didn't look like anything to do with Gilbert, so Gilbert will continue on as a mistake has cost Andrew more than just that one position. He's dropped back to 7th. Unfortunate for himself, as we'll go back on board here with Gamer, as he's still behind TJ by not that much, in fact. Losing the rear end a little bit though, so I think TJ will have this position sorted. I don't think there's a lot Gamer can do about it, but with just over 6 laps to go, hopefully there'll be another battle somewhere, as Andrew now gets passed by Craig because he's into the pits. So looks like Andrew on those older set of tyres has had enough. He's actually gone on to the inters. I think he knows his race is done and he's got to try something for grip, I suppose. In fact, as he's done that, let's jump on board with him and see what kind of grip he's getting as he comes out of the pits. Right, so this is also don't forget initial grip, as Barry comes into this on 9 lap of softs. That's interesting. Is he trying to follow Andrew? Is he thought, maybe Andrew's made the right call? He has. He's gone on to the inters, so he's seen someone else on the inters and decided maybe it's the right call. Does look like Andrew's getting some kind of decent grip, but the DRS is still enabled. I'm not sure it's wet enough. Especially with there being the sun coming through the clouds there. definitely doesn't look wet enough. But BF1's in as well. Is this for another driver onto a set of inters, as well as Craig? Are the drivers... Oh, Craig gets a 5-second stop over speed in the pit lane. As yeah, BF1 onto the inters, along with Craig Senna. So some of these drivers thinking it might be into weather, but in my opinion, doesn't quite look wet enough. Definitely still looks like Andrew's having to be a little bit cautious through, especially this first sector, as he's getting a big slide. Oh, yep, that's Andrew out. I don't think it's ready for the inters yet, which means some of these drivers might have made a horrendous call. So you might want to give them that piece of information, Sarah, as I know you're engineering them. As I drop my phone with the chat, that's not ideal. But it looks like everyone is now spread out. TJ opening the gap here to Gamer as well. So it looks like this battle might be over in this race. But as long as all the drivers now finish, it's guaranteed points with only 10 runners left after Andrew's crash. This does mean that I believe BF1 gets to keep all hidden standings. Let's have a quick double check. Don't think anyone else is close enough to take him on him. Andrew Team Atlantis. No, looks like BF1 gets to hold full place in the standings after joining late in the season. Looks like obviously Prime is going to win this championship as it stands at the moment, as long as he can keep his car on track. Let's do it this way. Just try and get on board with him for a minute, as there's nothing happening. Give him some screen time, as he's not had very much this race. I say the inters might have been a bad call, actually. I have just realised BF1 here really catching up to the back of Killian. That might be because Killian's tyres are completely dead though, or getting to that point with 17 lap old tyres will not be ideal in a slightly damp condition. Yeah, BF1 definitely looking more confident than Killian right now on his set of tyres. Killian might have to think about pitting if he wants to guarantee his safety in this race. And as I say that, he does. There we go. So that's BF1 free, and that ends that battle quicker than you can say puff. Don't know why puff. Just felt like saying puff. Right. As I said though, let's go back on board with Ty and give him some of the screen time he deserves right now, as TJ is slowly catching him, but Prime in a perfect position to walk away with this race. So yeah, Prime will walk away with this championship as it currently stands, and the way things finish, TJ will have second in the championship and Gamer will have third. In fact, at the top three, if it stays like this at the end of the race, we'll be finishing in their current standing positions. Have to say, that would be impressive. Let's go back into the chat. Your drivers are saying the best call at the moment is inters. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure how true that is, but actually, I'm going to go on board here with TJ, as he is really reeling in Prime, and it won't give TJ the championship win, but it will just give him one over Prime to say, hey, you may win the championship, but you don't win the race. And actually, yeah, he looks much quicker than Prime right now. DRS disabled. That could now be the sign for inters. But these drivers on the dries will be taking a big risk of hitting if others don't. As there we go, TJ flying past Prime, absolutely molested him down the straight. Prime won't be too worried about that. I think he knows even if he finishes second, that's him winning the championship, as Dark Horse is now out. Just double check, see if that was a manual retirement while we have a minute. Incidences, let's just scroll down the many warnings and penalties. That was terminal damage by Dark Horse, so he's clearly... Oh, I've hit the wrong button. That was clearly him struggling in these conditions, so it's unfortunate for him. All he had to do was finish the race and he would have had points, or a point at least, but I don't think that matters to too many of these drivers right now, as they're not in much of a battle. Prime looks like he's really struggling right now. He's got absolutely no pace. I think these drivers are going to have to go into this for the last couple of laps. They're absolutely not pushing whatsoever. Looks like TJ continues on. Looks like these boys are going to continue on, as Unity Gilbert here looking to get past Gamer. Gamer will not like that at all. I mean, he will still keep third in the championship standings, but I think it'd be quite nice for him to finish on the podium for his final race, getting third in the championship. In fact, it'd be quite nice to speak to all three of the top three guys, but looks like Gamer just has no pace left in him on these tyres in these conditions, so don't think he's going to drop any lower than fourth, but nevertheless, we're going to jump back on board with TJ for the final lap of this race, as he's managed to take this right at the end of the race, and I'm not entirely sure how. Prime looked like he had this in the bag, as he's also been really caught by Gilbert as well. I'm really struggling at the end of this race. These guys on the dry is not having fun, as this track looks like it's got too wet for any of these tyres to have any kind of grip, but TJ is going to come across the line in first. Will he stay in first after penalties? I believe so. I don't remember seeing him get that many. Here we go. Prime's going to come across the line in second. Gilbert third. Gamer might hit Gilbert because of penalties. Yep, Gamer does get third because of penalties. So I do get to speak to all three of the top guys. That's a good result there, as the F1 coming across in 5th place. He might be a little bit down with that, but nevertheless, all the way for the championship after joining late is a great result for him. Prix in 6th, Killian in 7th, and Barry as our final finisher in 8th place. Right. I will be silent for a minute. The stream may pause itself, and I apologise, because I now need to invite the top three guys. So okay, I have now invited all three of the drivers, so hopefully they will be with us in a moment. But that was a good race for Brazil, I have to say, as all three of them are here. Perfect timing. Right, so I could ask you all to make sure you have ticked the box to include your audio. And we will start with third place. Not only third place in this race, but third place in the championship overall. Fighting with TJ most of this race, Gamer. So, as I say, you're fighting TJ most of the race. Interesting race, I have to say, going from dries to wets with an intermediate qualifying. Just run us through how you went about this race, as it was quite a tricky one to deal with.
Well, I had to sort of try and do a fusion myself in qualifying to counteract for the dry. And then the race, I got a bit of a dodgy launch and then just got stuck in DRS trains with different drivers, which completely screwed me because of a 110 error. But it was a race because I managed to survive in the end when it went inters.
Yeah, tricky conditions at the end for all of you on the dries. Very few laps on the inters, and definitely didn't look like for you guys it was worth pitting. But nevertheless, congratulations on the third and the third overall in the championship. It seems like a good season overall. Moving on to second then, Titan Prime. So, you finished second in the race, but I'm going to assume you're not going to be too disappointed with that result, because it does mean you walk away with the championship, or the Drivers' Championship. Don't know how the team standings are at the moment, don't ask me on that, but you do walk away with the championship overall in the Drivers. Bit confused actually with your race, because you look like you had this race in the bag from the very beginning. You got a good launch. You pulled away. Just explain what happens at the end of that race. Like, you just seemed like you had no pace at all.
Um, yeah, like you say, wasn't really bothered about the win. It was just the championship that I was after, and Red Bull got the constructors as well. On that point anyway. But yeah, I think I went a full dry setup because I didn't think the rain. I thought the rain had come a lot towards the end of the race, and I somehow just had pace on the inters. Um, and I had obviously pace off the start on my supers, and the rain came at the right time. Really, um, it wasn't too heavy because I was really worried that I'd sort of buggered it when on the super softs, and then I'd have to make another pit stop. But yeah, I think it was just a combination of really not wanting to push the car. I was doing like a seventh gear around some corners, just really just trying to bring it home. And so when TJ got onto the back of me, I was in leaning on. I just let him go because I knew that it. Uh, I just wanted to fight for the championship win, not the race on the day. So yeah, I think because I went for and just trying to bring it home, that's why I was so much slower. But I can't take anything away from TJ because in those interchanging conditions, he was something else. Like his pace, he was just so consistent, and he was just getting a lot more out of the car than I could really. So yeah, congratulations on his win.
Yeah. Well, it was a good race for myself in those challenging conditions, and to be fair, I totally forgot rain was happening. I did know rain was coming, but I forgot about it. But from all the information I had, it was supposed to be a bit later into the race than it initially started falling. But nevertheless, it's a good result for yourself, and well done on the championship win.
Yeah.
Right, moving on to race winner and second in the championship. Championship. Let's say that without a lisp this time. Mr. TJ. Now, I'm a little bit surprised with your win, as you probably are as well. You did what you needed to in this race to get the win to try and take the championship off of Titan, but unfortunately, Titan finished in a position that he needed to. But it looked like a good race from yourself. You had what seemed like a race-long battle with Gamer, which could have ended any one way or another. Looked like you had a couple of moments of contact, but just run us through your race when and how surprised you are at walking away with that win after the lead that Titan had.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations to Titan Prime. He's been really consistent. I mean, he did everything he needed to do this race. But yeah,
Yeah.
from my
Cheers.
race, it was just started 10th because I crashed in qualifying, which didn't help. So I just gave it everything in the race, and eventually one by one picked my way through the field, and then got past Ados, and I saw that the gap was 9 seconds. So I just gave everything, and I could tell that he wasn't pushing fully, because he would have kept that gap easily. And then, yes, I took him, and then it was just getting to the end, and Titan Prime also got to the end very well, and so did Ados, so it was a good race, but yeah, it was fun, and congratulations to everyone else.
Yep, I have to say, thoroughly enjoyed watching your progress through that race. But congratulations on the win, and as devastating as it probably is to lose by the amount of points you lost, congratulations on the second in the overall Drivers' Championship. And it's great to see all three contenders finishing on the podium, so really trying to do what they can to win. But that is the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and the end of a season. And not only the end of a season, but the end of an era on F1 2018. So hope everyone enjoyed watching this season. I thoroughly enjoyed the little time I have spent here. Hopefully the stream hasn't been too bad of a quality for you all, as it was last minute planned. But we'll see you all in the next game and the next season. Goodbye.